Should engine swaps be implemented into CTR? Let's talk about it!
No!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I am back with something that has been a very controversial topic within the Crash Team Racing community. This has been a feature that's been debated in many posts, and honestly, both sides have fantastic points. Before we start though, what exactly is an engine swap? I'm going to take it slow just to make sure everyone is on the same page and on board before we take off with these ideas. Well, Crash Team Racing has a huge roster of characters, the biggest the franchise has ever seen, and Beanox is taking characters from different Crash games, even the, not so popular ones, and brought elements from those games in some way or another and implemented them into this one. This game has been a sheer celebration for the Crash fanbase, no matter which game you liked. With that said though, this roster has been the most diverse in any Crash game, yet people tend only to play a very small pool of characters. You know how each character has an assigned class? You have the 4 types that we all know, the turning, all-round, acceleration, and speed classes. These classes determine the stats of your character and how well they do in each of the racing categories. Each class has the exact same stats to another, as in one speed character doesn't turn better than another speed character, and one turning character doesn't go faster than another turning character within the class. Every class are exactly the same within their family of stats. Most of the time, a lot of people lean towards one class, sometimes two, which means most people don't play all the classes. So in turn, you get your quote-unquote main class that you play. But once you find that class you like and adjust to it, there's a giant amount of other characters that you don't ever touch. So the proposed idea is that the speed should not be tied to the character that you play, but to the theoretical engine that you use. Here is an example. Essentially, if you want to play as Polar, but want to go as fast as Crunch, you would swap Polar's engine to a speed engine, and he would no longer be a turning character, but be able to keep up with the fast racers and have the turning radius of a potato. Theory make enough sense? Hopefully it does. So there have been many debates on this and how it should be handled. Let's try to take as much of an objective look at both sides of the argument, and then I'll give my own personal thoughts on the idea. First, let's look at the arguments for it. The most this argument had started was when Spyro was announced in the game. See, there are many different fans with different playstyles that really wanted to play Spyro. When Spyro was announced as a speed character, I was the happiest dude in the world. Speed is my main class, and Spyro is my purple boy. It was fantastic! But I looked on and saw many Spyro fans who were just frustrated. See, when you choose only one class for a character, especially for a character like Spyro, you likely frustrate many of the other different styled racers. Though it is argued speed is one of the most popular stat choices, acceleration is also very close, if not equal, in terms of popularity. That's why you sometimes get a rogue Megumi that wins first in every race. But if engine swaps are implemented, anyone who is a Spyro fan can play Spyro, and play him comfortably the way they like it. Now, Spyro is only an example, but there is another character that's coming that I know thousands of you have been waiting for, Nina Cortex. Now, to all you Nina Cortex fans, how would you feel if this character was a class that you hated, a class that you never play because you just can't get the feel for it? You would be kind of mad, no? Or maybe there's a character coming out that you might have a little bit of interest in, but you see their stats and say, nope, not playing them. I'm looking at you, Nasty Nork. But again, with engine swaps, those problems go away. It allows for people to expand the roster and play who they want comfortably. Now, let's try to take a look at the argument against engine swaps. This game, though it has many additions to its core, it's still a remake. or a remaster, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people feel that if Beanox were to start meddling with the stats of characters, then it wouldn't be a remake from their childhood. If they want to play Dingodile and crush all the turning characters, like back in the original, then they should feel that they should do the same in today's game. People don't want their nostalgia messed with. Trust me, go to my No More Remakes comment section video and you'll see what I mean. Now, a big thing that this game promotes is its mastery. The better you do, the more rewards you get. This is evidenced by unlocking skins the more wins you get on a certain character. That whole system is based on the concept of rewarding someone who plays well. Some argue that sure, you could have a main driving class, but you should be able to play every class. The unlocking of skins the more you play is an incentive to learn the game, and that the engine swap concept ruins that concept of improvement. The skins that you unlock for free basically is a carrot for you to try these characters and improve with them to get their alternative skins. On top of that, if you know the game like the back of your hand, how are you supposed to know who has what engine when each character has different stats? While in a race, how are you supposed to tell what engine they have? This can change your strategy for online play. If you don't know how fast your opponents are going, or at least their potential speed, it can affect how you use your items. Do you wait before you fire a weapon, or fire it immediately? The class you're catching up to can determine your choice. So, you've heard me babble on about what people have been arguing about. Now, I want to step in and give my take on the idea. Now, I initially was not for engine swaps, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Now, I am not 100% convinced yet, because I do agree with some aspects against the concept of engine swaps, but I do have an idea. In a future video, I am going to be talking about an idea I had for CTR, that like the story mode, there would be a nitro fuel mode for online and then classic online mode. Essentially, Nitro Fuel mode would be a setup for Beanox to try and experiment some new features for the game, while the classic mode sticks to the original as close as possible and keeps that nostalgic remake feel. More on this in a future video. Be sure to be subscribed and hit the bell to make sure that you see it when it comes out. But I could see this going two ways if it was implemented in the game. Either the Nitro Fuel mode, like I just mentioned, or through an unlocking system that's the same as unlocking skins. Picture this. Know how it takes 30 wins to unlock the final skin? Well, what if there was one more option? What if at 40 wins, you unlock engine swap for the character? So, when you buy a character from the pit stop, they have an assigned class, but once you have mastered them, you can play them however you like. This keeps the mastery argument that the one side of the fanbase talks about, while still being flexible. This also gives a reason for people to play characters that they may not be the most comfortable with to be able to play them how they want, thus giving people more of a reason to play different characters and classes, therefore driving more people to play more and breaking the mold. Now, for the clarity argument, what could be done is that each class could be given an assigned color. So let's say red for turning, green for speed, yellow for acceleration, and blue for all around. In online play, notice how it displays the player's name? Well, the name could be tinted the color of the engine they are using. Also, on the left side here, the color of the portrait and background can reflect the type of engine they are currently using, thus communicating to those racing who is using what. And for the last argument of this being a remake and therefore shouldn't touch the core sense of the game, yeah, I get that point, but at the same token of time, there is so much added to this game that outside of the adventure mode, this game is almost entirely new. With the addition of new tracks, along with all of Crash Nitro Kart's tracks but adjusted to a CTR experience, new characters, customization options, online play, leaderboards, along with many other features, this is almost an entirely new game. Not to mention, with this idea, there still would be a classic mode where you can race just like the way it is now. So even if this idea was theoretically implemented, you wouldn't be losing your original Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled experience. You could still play classic online, and offline as well. Overall, I think this would be an absolutely amazing feature, but done the right way. It allows for concept of mastery, while giving people a reason to try and grind matches out with a class they may not be the most comfortable with. And hey, you never know, they may turn out to like the new class and grow as an overall racer.
By the way, a huge shout out to my Patreons and sponsors on the channel. I appreciate your support and letting me be able to do this full time as I got a family to feed. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon is in the description below, and be sure to subscribe for more nostalgic content. And while you're at it, why not check out another video I recently made? Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.